So we've got some news around two telcos listed on our market. Airtel Africa, PLC says the company plans to seek admission for its ordinary share capital to the premium listing of the official list and to trade on the main market of the London Stock Exchange. Preparatory to that, 8 global banks, including JP Morgan, Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, have been appointed to work on the initial public offer plan and looking to use the funds raised to reduce Airtel's external debt. Part of the strategic report released today by the company. Airtel Africa was incorporated and registered in England and Wales in July last year and limited by shares, $1.50 divided into 15 ordinary shares of 10 American cents per share. The company, according to a report filed with the Nigerian Stock Exchange, says it has total issued voting shares of 3.758 billion as at the end of July, ordinary shares of 50 cents each, another 50,000 non-voting redeemable deferred shares of £1 and 3.081 billion non-voting deferred shares of 50 American cents in issue. Pre-tax profit, $3.074 million. Net profit, $2.49 million. Operating loss, $669,259 American dollars. And says it pays corporate tax to the UK authorities within the period of July to March this year, $584,180. The stock market is reacting right now in Nigeria to the news that Morgan Stanley Capital International is adding MTN Nigeria PLC to its MSCI Frontier Markets indexes on August the 27th as part of the MSCI's August quarterly index review of its global basket of indexes. And that's the story. MTN shares now up 1.33%, pushing the Nigerian stock market to about 0.1% positive reading to start Thursday. So MTN is in positive news today in the market, taking that up as we speak. My colleague at the Nigerian Stock Exchange trading floor, Edidiong Iwang, is joining us now to give us the tee-off for today on the stock market. Edidiong, good morning. Great to see you bright and early.
Good morning, Bosin.
Great to see you on the show. So, tee the market up for us. What are you reading on the ticker tapes?
Well, Bosin, the volatility continues in the market. You know, we've seen the tussle between the bears and the bulls, but more with bearish sales. Just before the market started reacting to the news of MTN, the market was down about 0.15%, and then shortly after, you know, we saw some gains largely driven by MTN. But on the sectoral charts, you know, 4 of the sectors are down. Insurance is down by over 1%, you know, almost 2%, and then oil and gas sector is unchanged. So it's clear that right now, you know, it's MTN that is pushing the market. We've seen top trades. MTN is one of the top trades. Continental Insurance, FBN Holdings. We've seen losses in Forte Oil, May Baker, Access Bank. So we'll just see, you know, how the rest of the market goes. But right now, you know, MTN is really helping to push the market up. You know, in other news, yesterday the Stock Exchange released a statement notifying dealing members that the suspension placed on, you know, shares of Universal Insurance, trading on Universal Insurance, have been listed, you know, have been lifted rather after the company released its financial results for the year ended December 30, 2018. Now, we would recall that earlier in July, the NSE suspended trading on shares of 11 firms. You know, so let's just see how the rest of the market goes. For now, it's slow. MTN is a major driver in the market, Bosin.
Yes, I'm sure it's going to be another day. If we look at the markets yesterday, I'm sure you took one look at that. The insurance guys took a major haircut yesterday, 1.92%, nearly 2%. Looks like for the last few sessions, the insurance stocks seem to be taking a very serious beating, as it were.
Oh, yes, Bosin. Right now, like I said, you know, insurance is also down the most by 1.91%. You know, so let's just see, you know, what happens. We don't know what's happening in that sector right now, but hopefully, you know, there'll be some changes today. Hopefully, we'll have a better day today. But with the way it's going, except MTN, you know, really rallies in the market, but we don't know how the rest of the day will be, Bosin.
Thank you so much, Edidiong for bringing us up to speed. I'm sure you have a lot to watch today, but of course MTN will be #1, then Airtel Africa. You have all of that to look at. The two big telcos on our market are in the news today. Very interesting time. Thank you so much, Edidion Iwenga, Channels TV correspondent out of the trading floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. This is breaking news.
This is Channels Television's breaking news.
Federal High Court has granted the Department of State Securities, or DSS, a permission to detain Omoyele Sowore for a period of 45 days only. An application for that was pushed to the Federal High Court by the Department of State Securities. Now, the Federal High Court, after listening to both parties, says the gentleman who was organizing the revolution now, quote and unquote, a few days ago and was arrested and detained by the Department of State Securities, will now be in detention for the next, for 45 days, a period of 45 days only, and not 90 days as the Department of State Securities actually wanted. 90 days was the application. The Federal High Court says, no, you can only detain him for 45 days only. That's the breaking news as we speak. You have more details on this in our news at the top of the hour. That's the big story out there now. The Federal High Court says the DSS can only detain Omoyele Sowore for 45 days only. Let's get back to the market. The big story around Airtel Africa PLC. The company says it's seeking to move up on the London Stock Exchange and is appointing 8 global banks, including JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Citi, to pursue that. That will move up the ranking of Airtel Africa, which was listed on the London Stock Exchange and dual listing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange about 2 months ago. Part of the report that was released today, about a 20-page financial statement, was about 4 pages devoted to strategic plan or report of the company. The company highlighted a few risks to its operations. This is its first post-listing market information, saying there are political and regulatory risks as well as competitive risks. On political front, Airtel Africa told investors and the market that some of the countries in which the telco company operates have experienced or continue to experience political instability, and the continuation or re-emergence of such political instability in the future could have material adverse effects on the economic and social conditions of those countries, and that could have some impact on the telecommunication company. On the competitive risk side, Airtel Africa says the growth of our business, quote now, the growth of our business depends in part on the adoption of mobile data services. Whilst mobile data usage may increase, competitive forces may drive down prices. These trends may continue and intensify. This is part of what you can read up on Airtel Africa, saying this: there are political, there are market, there are competitive risks in doing business on the African continent. All of that, part of what the company is reporting. And finally, MTN still shares moving up more than 1% this morning, still within the opening bell of the Nigerian trading day for this Thursday. The good news is that the MSCI has included, or will be including, MTN on August 27 in the MSCI Frontier Markets Indexes. That is part of the August review of the MSCI, Morgan Stanley Capital International, of its global basket of indexes. Good news for everyone and for MTN. Let's take a break. We'll be right back tomorrow, Friday. Let's wrap up the show, rather. I'll see you again. Have a great day.